Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rusty Buckets. As you can tell, I am recording from home because today is my birthday. I am 25 years old, which I know by the look of me is probably shocking to most of you, but I was born in the year 2000 and I am finally 25. I don't like how quickly I arrived here. I feel like I just started doing this channel, just started doing life in general. The time passes you quick, so try to spend it well. I'm talking like I'm already in my grave. I'm not. But for the fact that it's my birthday, I got two things out of it. One, didn't have to go into the office to record. And two, if you haven't yet, you at home, you are going to go watch my newest deep dive video over on my main channel. You're so nice. I can't believe you would do that for my birthday. That means the world to me. With that said, let's go ahead and get in today's hot takes. From Bibin, oh fuck me, Bibian Mahanan. I'm so sorry. I'm so painfully white. Kobe Bryant is not better than LeBron as a scorer. Whenever people talk about how good of a scorer Kobe was, they either bring up the fact that he scored 81 or the fact that he averaged 36 points per game in 2006. People often forget the fact that in the same season, a 21-year-old LeBron averaged 31.4 on a Cavs team that won 50 games. Also, there were three players who averaged over 30 points per game in that season, 2006, just like 2025. P.S. Nash robbed LeBron, not Kobe. I agree on the first take. The second take, I think Nash robbed Dirk. One of my bigger hot takes is that when you look back at those MVP races, I feel like Dirk should have won 3 straight MVPs, and instead he only ended up getting 1, but I'm not going to go down that whole rabbit hole. The Kobe Bryant is not a better scorer than LeBron take. I agree with you because I think where a lot of people get caught up in the scoring conversation is like the bag work aspect of it, the footwork aspect of it. But the take that I always have is at the end of the day, a bucket is a bucket. At the end of the day, the point is to score the ball as proficiently and as efficiently as you can. And the fact of the matter is, when you look at their career scoring numbers, LeBron averages similar numbers and averages way better efficiency. Now, to give Kobe some level of pass, some level of credit here, he is a product of his era more so than I really feel like any other player pre or post 1990 even is. Like the dead ball era, Kobe was fucking built for the dead ball era. So when people talk about like what would Kobe look like in the modern NBA, things like that, I'm like, he's one of the greatest players ever, so he would have adjusted his game. But if we're just dropping 2008 Kobe into today's game, there's going to be a long adjustment period, and he's not going to be very good immediately. It will take some time for him to come around to actually being good because his play style was just simply very slow paced, indicative of his era, very heavily based on difficult shots. Like Kobe is the best difficult shot maker ever, and I'd argue he's a better pull-up mid-range shooter, but there's pretty much nothing else in terms of scoring the ball that I think Kobe is better at LeBron at. I mean, he's better at making it look prettier. I don't know, aesthetics are kind of everything. Like the Kobe has this weird crossroads, which is why I enjoy watching him so much, where he both can make the game look incredibly easy, but more often than not, he is usually making the game look incredibly hard. Like you don't watch Kobe highlights and you're like, wow, I could do that. I damn sure am not anyways. I maybe did when I was like 12 and delusional, but no, I could not do shit like that. LeBron has a more simplified, easier, but more effective game. And a lot of that just simply stems from the fact that LeBron is a more impressive physical specimen than Kobe is, but it also comes from a mentality thing. Like there was a younger Kobe who threw himself at the rim constantly, but he really fell in love with the mid-range pull-up, and that's the marker of Kobe, so I can't falter him for it, but it's also a shot that in today's NBA is just not as valuable. But Kobe would also be a more effective mid-range shooter in today's game because of the spacing. So I don't even know why I went in the whole today's game direction. But as a whole, yes, LeBron better scorer than Kobe. Sorry, Kobe. From Sus Varman, Coach Bolton from High School Musical is a terrible coach. He's uninvolved during a team practice, leads to his entire team dancing to get you ahead in the game instead of running much needed drills, having them repeat a regular screening action over and over while unsupervised. He also uses a starting lineup of players that are no taller than 5'10" and expects college prospects for Troy during Kevin Durant's high school tenure. That's funny. He has the basketball IQ of Jimmy Fallon, non-existent, and the parenting skills of Bing Crosby. I don't know who Bing Crosby is. Oh, man. Am I having another white moment and I just got here? Who the fuck is Bing Crosby? Is this another High School Musical character and I'm getting American singer and actor? Okay. What did Bing Crosby do as a parent? What the fuck? Bing Crosby, what did you do? All right, yeah, all the good stuff. Where's the horrible? There's an FBI investigation, but it's for the mafia, romantic relationships, children. Okay. After Crosby's death, his elderly son Gary published a highly critical memoir, Going My Own Way, describing his father as cruel, cold, remote, and physically and psychologically abusive, while acknowledging that corporal punishment took place. There were reports of all of Gary's immediate siblings distancing themselves from the abuse claims, either in public or in private. All right, that's enough. That's enough about Bing Crosby. Apparently, bad father. I don't think I've seen High School Musical since middle school, which is ironic. But yeah, probably not the best coach. I would think your comment was just funny, so I figured I'd highlight it. Also, how do you know Jimmy Fallon doesn't have basketball IQ? Wasn't he friends with Kobe? Or am I confusing him with Kimmel? I don't really give a shit. From Connection, Rusty will never figure out the technology of having a camera that he can leave plugged in. Here's the thing, I actually do understand the technology of a camera that you can leave plugged in. However, at the office, it's a USB-C cord, and I need a USB-C cord for my laptop. And we have multiple cords, but we only have one charging block. So I end up charging my computer and not being able to plug it into the camera, and then one of them ends up dying. So it's still a me being stupid thing. It's just different. I know you can plug it in. Oh, I want to make a quick disclaimer as well. I would appreciate it if for the rest of these comments, for a while anyways, we avoid what's wrong with the NBA, who the face of the league is, 3-point shooting discourse, like all that stuff. I've had enough reacting to takes about it, a lot of it roundabouts to being the same stuff, and I don't want to keep sifting through the comments to dig through that stuff. So I know we're all focused on the contentious what's wrong with the NBA debate, but let's leave it out of the takes for a while, at least. Again, just a while. From Benjamin Bremer. The people who praise ethical hoopers, Kobe and AI, who complain about free throw merchants, Harden and Shea, are hypocrites. Shea is averaging 8.9 free throw attempts per game this season. Kobe averaged 8.7 free throw attempts a game in 06, and AI averaged 10.1 during his MVP season. Seems like another case of looking at stats, watching short clips, following other weird narratives, and nostalgia at its worst. Well, the big problem is that he is a meme. The big problem is that the meme is to point out that he's at the free throw line. Just turned on the OKC Thunder game. Look who's at the free throw line. And like, he could have shot 4 free throws that day, but it doesn't matter. Shea literally has the most 30-point games this season with less than 5 free throw attempts. He literally is just objectively not a free throw merchant. I might end up making a deep dive about the concept because it's something that I could probably be a layup to just talk about how stupid it is. But truly, free throw merchant is one of the. I don't like to throw around the expression "you don't know basketball" because I think people throw it in my direction and I laugh at it because, frankly, I do enough. But if you are actively participating in NBA discourse and you use free throw merchant as a legitimate criticism, especially to the likes of SGA, you're dumb. That's the end of it. You're dumb. You're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. This is what basketball has always been. And you guys are complaining about what basketball has always been. Maybe the sport isn't for you. That's pretty much the best that I can say. If free throw merchant shit is something that you actually genuinely concern yourself with, it's not real. It's not a real problem. Occasionally, Shea foul baits. It happens like 2 or 3 possessions a game. Do you know how many fucking possessions there are in a game? Get over it. Ignore it. Move on to the next possession. It's not that fucking hard. Grow up. That's my take on that. Yeah, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. The other thing is most of the old players, the players of old, are watched purely through highlights now. I will watch old games, especially during the offseason. I love to watch old games, but it's not like that many people are doing that. It's not like it's that many people's job to go and watch old games. So literally, by contrast to highlights where only the best moments are sequentially put in front of you, that's going to stand out as a little bit better than watching a full basketball game and watching a player do some shit that's not highlight worthy. The game's imperfect and it always will be. Sorry. Also, the reason the reason why Kyrie Irving, for example, or Carmelo Anthony are ethical hoopers is because their play style just didn't emphasize the drawing fouls. Trying to draw fouls is not unethical in basketball. You could argue there is a methodology towards trying to draw fouls that can be unethical, but just the very concept of it, not unethical at all. You're supposed to try and draw fouls. You're supposed to throw yourself at the rim and hope that your opponent either lets you get a layup or fouls you. That's basketball. From Jetanice, I think we all know if Tatum was on a team by himself and had to take 25 shots a game, he could easily put up what people call MVP level stats. The problem with Jason Tatum and his stats is not shots per game. I don't know where that idea has come from, because if you look at it, Jason Tatum is averaging 20.2 field goal attempts per game. He's also taking 10.1 threes, whereas Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is taking 21.3 field goal attempts. Wow, that one shot difference sure seems to matter, even though SGA is taking a considerably lower volume of threes. And he's only taking 4 or 5 more free throw attempts per game. Where are you at free throws? It's 3. It's not even quite 3. It's 2.7 difference in free throw attempts. So Shai averages 5 more points, taking 1 more shot, which is 2-pointers, so also a lower value in terms of potential points shot, and only less than 3 more free throw attempts per game. 2.7 to be exact. It's not a matter of shots. And for what it's worth, SGA is also not on a bad fucking team. So it's not about shots. If you want to argue that he would have more opportunity to rack up rebounds and rack up assists, that's the thing where Tatum is lacking. Jason Tatum has been at or near 30 points per game a few times. This is Shai again. He has been at or near it. Yeah, he averaged 30.1 in 2023, took 21 shots a game. And you want to know what? His rebounding is okay, and his assist numbers are okay, and his stock numbers are okay, and his efficiency numbers are okay. So across the board, He puts up the points, and then every other aspect of his stats are fine. So when you compare that to just go right back to Shea. If you compare that to Shea, I mean, his rebounds and assists are okay, especially for a guard, but he's averaging 3 stocks per game. He's shooting 58% on 15 two-pointers per game. And if you go to the advanced stats, he's at 64% true shooting. What do you want to bet Jason Tatum's true shooting percentage is considerably worse than that? 59. 5% difference. So Shea is averaging 5 more points on 5% better efficiency, true shooting, while averaging more steals and blocks, while averaging more assists, averaging less rebounds because he's a guard, but like that's Shea's case. And then when you go to a Nikola Jokic, it becomes incredibly obvious the difference in stats, because right now he's averaging 29 points, which is more than Jason Tatum is, but he's putting up 12.5 rebounds and 10.5 assists. Hell, he's putting up more steals than Jason Tatum is. So like, yeah, this isn't shocking. It's not about shots. It's simply the fact that Tatum just does not put up stats for real in comparison to the stats that other guys do. Across the box score, not just in the points per game department. He also takes less shots per game than Jason Tatum does while averaging more points. So it's not a matter of shot attempts, man. It's just not. Sure, let's try this one from Legit Marbles. Paul George has the highest skill to impact ratio in league history. Let me explain. The most desired archetype of player right now is a do-it-all defensive wing with ball handling and shooting skills comparable to a guard. While PG didn't start as that archetype, he made a large hand and didn't start that archetype, he had a large hand in popularizing it. Just look at how many young wings and guards list him as their favorite player or inspirations. Brandon Miller, Ant had a couple of comments. AJ Diabasta, and many more. His play style as his build has been one of the most influential among elite young wings. Despite his crazy influence, he has never been on the level of MJ, Kobe, AI, or Steph, who have some of the most impact in league history. Therefore, the ratio of his cultural impact to his actual on-court talent is by far the highest of any star. Okay, you were talking about skill to impact on the culture rather than impact on basketball ability, because that's where I was going to go in the opposite direction. As much as I love Paul George is one of my 10 favorite players of all time. He's the first rising superstar that I ever experienced. I loved watching him make the Miami Heat sweat for a second in it was either the second round or the conference finals. But as much as I love Paul George, I think he's routinely one of the more overrated players and has been throughout his entire career, because as skilled as he may be, he is very limited. He has always been limited getting to the rim, limited at how well he actually creates space, and he's never really truly been in the upper echelon, like in the top 5, top 7-ish on-ball creators in the game. Even if I've argued this take a lot and people get mad at it, and this is kind of similar to the scoring thing. It's not about the aesthetics, it's about the functionality. I 100,000% believe that LeBron James has a stronger and better and more important and impactful handle than Paul George does, even though Paul George is known as the wing with the really nice handles. When you look at what percentage of Paul George's offense is created off of the dribble, by contrast to other forwards who actually dribble the ball and don't just have a couple of like a highlight moment once or twice a game, those guys do it meaningfully more impactfully than Paul George does. Like, more effective at getting to the rim, more effective at using the handle to create actual space. So yes, I think the skill to impact ratio is great. He is one of the most formative archetype players. Like, I would think he's akin to like the Kevin Durant archetype, which is an archetype that hasn't really ever been fully replicated, but it's one that people like to claim everybody is. Paul George archetype, like, I don't know, like Kobe, Devin Booker, Jordan archetype, point forward type, LeBron archetype, all that type of shit. He's one of them ones for sure. He's also, to say one nice thing about him, one of the 10 greatest three-point shooters of all time. I think that gets undermentioned. There's so much focus on how aesthetically pleasing Paul George's game is that the thing that he does better than anything else is often left out of discussion. He's one of the best three-point shooters to ever do it. He's like 9th all time in three-point makes. His career numbers are like 7 attempts per game on 38+%. Dude's a shooter. And he is also arguably the best three-point shooter over the height of 6'8". If you look at the all-time three-point makes list, it's full of dudes who are like 6'5". Let me pull it up real quick. This is ABA and NBA, but there ain't no ABA players anywhere near the top of this list, so whatever. Yeah, Paul George is number 9. He will probably pass Kyle Korver next season at this point. LeBron keeps moving up the list, man. That's so funny. Dude, what if LeBron passes Ray Allen in three-point makes? I don't know. I think he should be on pace to do that if he plays another 2 seasons. That would be so fucking crazy when you're listing stats that LeBron has. And you're like, yeah, he's number 1 in points. He's number 2 in assists, which he's probably going to retire as. And he's number 3 in three-point makes. Even if it's just number 4, what the hell are you talking about, bro? But that said, Paul George is a substantially better three-point shooter throughout his entire career than LeBron is. LeBron's just been around forever. But yeah, man, look at some of these seasons. Just last year, 41% on 8 attempts per game, 37 on 7.5, 41 on 8, 41 on 8. 38 on 10, 40 on 8, 39 on 6.5. And then, some earlier years of his career where he wasn't quite as polished. But like, if we're just going basically since this first season, post-injury, he is at 7.7 three-point attempts per game at 39%. And as I mentioned on that makes list, other than LeBron James, obviously, guard, Kevin Durant. So Paul George, because he's a better three-point shooter than LeBron, even if he's lower ranked, best 6'8" or higher three-point shooter ever. Paul George. All right, we're going to go with a glazing comment at the end of this video because it is my birthday. And I will preface this with acknowledging all of these videos that he is about to list are available. They're just in playlists. You just got to go through our old playlists and you can find them. But from 40 nights, the following videos of yours from your old main channel before it became just deep dives were actually pretty good and deserve to be up, still be up in my opinion. The truth about LeBron's 07 finals run, the one about Paul Pierce just being an awful analyst, that's kind of a throwaway video. Proof John Stockton is the most overrated player in NBA history. This video is shown in a screenshot in a Johnny Arnett video on Stockton a few months back, actually. Oh, that's cool. This John Stockton video, I think that video is good. I unlisted plenty of videos that were still good. I just didn't feel that they met the brand that we're trying to make on that channel. So the only reason that shit was cut is also in part because we are eventually going to be making a longer form John Stockton video where a lot of points from that video are going to be rehashed and hopefully better than I was capable of making them in 2021. The truth about true point guards, that is a part 2. So yeah, that combination of videos I'm very proud of. I thought that was great. Why this 08 Celtics are overrated, I don't think I said anything that special in there. What is a superstar in the NBA? I think that's a video I can do better. Biggest missed opportunity in NBA history. If the Big Three Heat went to the Bulls in 2011, yeah, that one just hurts. The Lakers Media Machine video from 2021 where I talk about Taylor Horton Tucker. Yeah, that one's good. One where I criticized media members, all of your what if videos. Okay, the what if videos are not very good. I don't think, at least. I made those when I was literally a teenager. I don't think I made a single one of those over the age of 19, and I just don't care for those. The Forgotten Primes videos with Alex Hoops are great. Those are primarily, though, thanks to Alex Hoops, because he did a majority of the writing and production on those videos. I was just trying to use it as a way to showcase his channel. Speaking of, go subscribe to Alex Hoops. He is better at this. Maybe not reacting to your hot takes, but he is better at making NBA content than I am. And it is shameful that he is not more successful than I, because in a just world, he would be. The video on players who played in the wrong era, in particular, Jahlil Okafor was focused on there. Yes, my big take there is like, Jahlil Okafor in the 2000s, like many people said is the era he should have played in, would have straight up just been like Al Jefferson. Like people talk about Okafor like he was going to be an MVP superstar caliber big man, and then Steph Curry came and changed the meta of the NBA and ruined his career. No, he had so many problems with his game, all of the other shit aside, that he was never going to be a perennial all-star tier player in any era. But people are like, well, he posts up. 2000s were when you post up. That equals all-star. No, stupid shit. Please stop overrating DeMarcus Cousins. Yeah, reaction to those saying he's better than Embiid and Jokic. Empty stats myth. I don't think empty stats is a myth. I just think it is a grossly overused term. And lastly, 15, did Steve Nash deserve his MVPs? The first video of yours I ever watched, and really the beginning of me delving into the NBA some in my free time. I always love when I hear that. When you guys tell me that one of my videos helped get you into the NBA, that's one of the best compliments you can pay me, because as much as I sometimes am angry with it, I love the NBA. I fucking love basketball. And a big part of a lot of my contempt for media members is just that I think there is a huge negativity skew on the game that makes me upset, because basketball is dope and we should just be talking about how dope it is all the time. But yes, I love that happened. Whether you have privated those videos or deleted them, you should know that I found them entertaining watches, and I thought the discussions they inspired were interesting. I know they don't really fit into what a deep dive channel is now, but it would be cool if they were re-uploaded in some capacity. Yeah, like I mentioned, they are unlisted. Almost all of them are in playlists. I probably should go through and put all of them in one playlist, but if you want to watch old videos that are now unlisted, it is available to you. Like most of those you can probably track down. I will at some point put them all on a list, but it is good for YouTube to just curate the list of content you want people to see. The other thing is, like, rather than the algorithm trying to push 1,000 old videos, instead they push 20, and it's videos that I want you to see, rather than stuff that I just simply feel like I've improved since. And I appreciate that you and many other people still have a lot of love for some of my older content from back in 2020, 2021. But I feel like I've personally evolved a lot to a degree where I just don't want to be associated with some of that stuff anymore to the degree that I was. And I'm okay with that. I hope you guys are too. And again, if you want to watch it, it's still available. Thank you so much for watching. I don't even know how I got here, man. I started doing this shit when I was 16, and now it's still my job 9 years later. What the fuck is going on? All right. See ya.